Welcome back, everyone, to BR Game Day. I'm Michael Moonen here with Brian Dollagale and Danny Durkin. We're going to start off by giving a game recap from Brother Rice versus Mount Carmel. The offense had a tough first half but picked it up in the second half. Jack Lausch picked up the load with 4 rushing touchdowns and over 240 yards rushing. Aaron Vaughan as well had a big day with a couple touchdowns and 180 yards, including an 80-yard touchdown on the first play from scrimmage in the second half. With that in mind, who was a bigger key to us winning this game, Jack Lausch or Aaron Vaughan?
I think both had a pretty big role, but we've seen Lausch become a leader in every game. He gets better almost every game, too. I'm thinking Jack Lausch, but Aaron Vaughan definitely helped, too.
So you brought up Jack Lausch. Obviously, he had a phenomenal game like he always does this whole year. But Vaughan, I thought that touchdown to start the second half was just a big momentum for the Crusaders. And I thought he just does not go down in first contact. And I thought Vaughan ran very physical and ran very hard. And that's playoff football. And great job by him.
On the defense, Kari Shaw had a big day with 2 interceptions, as well as Sean Kennard, who had the game-setting interception, along with Rolando, who had a big hit to stop the game-tying 2-point conversion. What player on defense was best during this game and why?
I think Kari Shaw, Trey Pierce, and Kevin Frazier both had pretty big games. We can see Kevin Frazier, if you watch the game, he was subbing in and out. I think they all had pretty big roles in the game, though.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the linebacker, Rolando Sepulveda. I thought Rolando had a terrific game, and I thought that stop on that 2-point conversion that Carmel tried to get was huge because that game is totally different if Carmel converts that. And he was just making tackles left and right all over the game, and I'm going to go with Rolando Sepulveda.
Mount Carmel played good enough in this game, but Brother Rice unfortunately played a little bit better, and Brother Rice came out with the win. What was the main thing that Brother Rice did well during this win?
I think they didn't get so much penalties in Mount Carmel. Mount Carmel kind of dug themselves in a hole. They had so many penalties. I think Rice just threw the ball a lot better, too. Mount Carmel didn't throw the ball accurate at all. Yeah.
Well, I think, like Dolly said, they threw the ball way better than Carmel, but I also feel like their run game was phenomenal. That offensive line was great up front, and Lausch, like you said, had over 200 yards rushing, and Vaughan obviously played amazing, so I definitely feel like that rushing game was a big key to the Crusader win.
As well in this home game, the Crazies were absolutely electric and a big key to the Brother Rice team winning, and BRTV had over 20,000 viewers on their stream, the most ever for us. What does BR have to do to continue to win and advance to state?
I think they just need to play with intensity through all their games. Not mess up too many times. We haven't seen them do that too many times. I think they can't overlook this team either. They're a very big team, good team. They just play at their best.
Well, I think they just got to stick to their game plan. They've been dominant this whole playoffs. They've been running, passing well. Defense has been strong. They've just been great. I feel like they're getting better and better every week. So I just feel like they need to just continue what they're doing. Who knows what will happen.
Yeah, I would have to agree with Danny. If they keep running the ball behind this big offensive line, they should continue to do very well. How does Mount Carmel compare to Wheaton North defensively?
I think Wheaton North is a lot bigger team than them. They'll be a big challenge for this Crusader offense, but I think we'll do pretty good.
Yeah, this Wheaton North defense is really good. They're physical, just like Mount Carmel. I feel like it's almost the same how physical Carmel was. You saw late in the game, Carmel's getting, some big hits, and I feel like Wheaton North will create some big hits too. The Crusaders got to learn how to shut them down.
Do you guys think the far drive in the cold climate going all the way to Wheaton North will play a role in how the Crusaders run their offense and play a role in if we win the game or not?
I don't think the drive will. I don't think it'll affect them too much. I think the cold could, but we've seen Lausch do pretty good in the cold their last game. They affect his passing abilities a little bit, but he'll be good.
Yeah, I don't think it will at all. Like Dolly said last game, didn't affect them at all. They marched down the field. Cold weather didn't bother them at all. I feel like their adrenaline's moving. They'll be fine.
I would have to agree. I think the drive probably will not play into effect, but I think with the cold weather, you're going to have to be running the ball more because it's going to be harder to throw the deep ball in the cold. And now we're going to do an interview with Aaron Vaughan.
First play, I think, of the second half, you take it 79, 80 yards for a touchdown. Talk a little bit about that play.
Yeah, well, basically in the first half we were kind of sluggish, kind of slow, and I felt like somebody had to make a play. And, Jack makes a lot of plays, so I was like, I just want to add to it, help him out a little bit, help the offense out. And they called my number, and I was just able to make the play. The linemen obviously made good blocks. I just made a couple people miss, and then from there I just wasn't going to get caught by anybody else. So it was a great way to start the half, and that just brought a lot of life into the team, and we ended up going for 2 afterwards too, and we got that. So we were just rolling at that point. So I just feel like it was a big contribution to coming out in the second half.
What's the game plan going into Wheaton North?
Well, obviously we just want to win. We want to be more physical. We want to be better mentally. We don't want to come out slow because everybody's good now. Obviously, it's down to the wire. Everybody's good. Everybody we play is going to have good players, and we don't want to come out slow because we can come out slow and just get destroyed and demolished, and that's not what we want. So we have to make a better effort at coming out in the game, playing in the first, second, third, and fourth quarter, and we just have to make sure that we all play together. No selfish play. Like now, we all have to play as one, because if we play as one, then we'll definitely be able to bring a championship back to Brother Rice, which hasn't been done in a long time. So we made it too far to only make it this far. So.
Hey Carlos, what's the matter?
It's tennis. I thought you loved playing tennis. We're going to be one of the best teams in state this year.
For my whole life, I had one dream, to play varsity tennis for Brother Rice. But tomorrow's the last match of the season, and Coach Volk says there's no room in the starting lineup. I don't know what to do.
Gavin, I have an idea. Can you meet me outside of Coach Volk's office in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Alright, bring your blazer. Carlos, we're going to fix this.
Thank you.
Come in.
Coach Vogt, we heard the news about Carlos tomorrow, and we're deciding to not broadcast the tennis match.
What do you mean not broadcast? This match is for the state championship. You're a senior member of BRTV. Show some leadership.
I believe I am. For Carlos.
For Carlos.
For Carlos.
We've got to stop showing Rudy in theology class.
Welcome back to Crusader Game Day. I'm your host, Ryan Manfrey, alongside Quinn Lyons and Michael Moonen. We're going to talk about some quarterfinal recaps from this past weekend. Starting off with the Lockport Township Porters. They defeated Glenbar North 28-22, and they will advance in the semifinals to play Loyola Ramblers, who went on to beat the Lincoln Way East Griffins 3-0. Guys, how do you feel about this matchup? Starting with you, Quinn.
I feel like it's going to be a pretty one-sided game. Loyola's just pummeled everyone this year, and I don't think anyone's a chance against them, even any team in 8A left. So,
Michael, keys to the game for you. What do you think Loyola or Lockport has to do to advance the state championship game?
I would say I believe Loyola has to do what they've done all year, and that's run the ball and be more physical than everybody, and then throw the deep ball when the pass opens up.
Okay, moving on. Next, Marist High School defeated Glenbrook South 57-17. They now will play Maine South in the other 8A bracket for semifinals to go to state. Marist, big win on the road. Now they have to go play Maine South. What are the keys to the game for Marist or Maine South winning this game?
I do expect Marist to have yet another good game, and this is their toughest test yet. Maine South is a powerhouse team, and this is the best team they faced all year. I think Marist will pull out with the win, just based on how they played throughout this playoffs, especially with Don Trell's play on the offensive side and Jimmy Roberts play on the defensive side. It's going to be an interesting matchup.
Michael?
I would agree. I think Jimmy Rolder has to do what he's been doing all year and shut down the run game up the middle and make big tackles and big plays. And that Dontrell Jackson has to continue to be a playmaker, make throws on the run when the throws aren't there, and then give the ball to Alonzo Manning and let him score touchdowns.
Okay. Moving on to JCA. They won big by a score of, I want to say, 48-7, if I'm correct. They played Richard Benton in the semifinals. Should have an easy win for them going into the state championship game. So what do you guys think after, we saw the all-state teams come out this week and everything? How do you guys feel about JCA? Like, do you still think easy win for state or competitiveness, or who takes the tall task against JCA?
First, I just want to say, Richard who? I don't know who that school is. I don't think JCA will have a problem destroying this team. It will be another blowout, and I think JCA will make an easy run to the state championship.
Michael?
I think based on how badly JCA beat a team like us and how good this running back is, I don't think there's one person on this other school that will be able to tackle this running back from JCA. So if they keep running the ball well, JCA should be able to roll through every team in their path and win state.
No surprise here. East St. Louis, the best team in the state of Illinois, beats Lamont by 21. They move on to play, I cannot remember, but they move on to play a team in the semifinals. They could end up playing Cary Grove in the state championship game. We'll see where it goes from here, but how do you guys feel about East St. Louis? Like, just got some of the best players in the country and in the state of Illinois, so.
I think winning by 21 is kind of disappointing for East St. Louis. I think they should beat every team in this class by at least 40 points. No one can hang with them. It's not even fair. East St. Louis by 100.
Michael?
I would agree with Quinn. I think when you have the #1 receiver in the state of Illinois, I think winning by only 20 is a little bit of a disappointment, especially when you've seen teams like IMG that are much better than this. I think they should have blown out this team.
Moving on to 5A now. Fenwick had a big game against Nazareth and won that game 28-17 and advanced to the semifinals. So I said between if Fenwick and Naz played each other, it'd be one of those two would go on to win state. So Caden Cobb, Fenwick, do you think they've got a chance to win state this year for 5A?
It's going to be an interesting game. Naz is a very good team. They have 6'6" tight end Deacon Tonelli. He's only a junior, but he's played very good this year. He's probably the best tight end in the state of Illinois. It's going to be an interesting game. I don't know who I want to pick for this one.
Michael?
Like I said, I think I would be taking Nazareth here. I think they're just a better team. I think when you have a 6'6" tight end, it would be tough for anybody in 5A to cover him, so I think Nazareth would see.
Okay. St. Rita beats Waniqua. I think that's their name. They win 36-17. They will play Prospect now in the other 7A bracket. Caleb Brown, who's, I believe he's back almost to full health now and standing up to everything. So how do you guys feel about the St. Rita team? Are they still, think you're an even bigger threat with more healthy Caleb Brown now, over 50% healthier?
Seeing the teams that St. Rita's played, I think it'd be better that we are in that side of the bracket. If we were on that side of the bracket, the games would not be fun to watch. Nobody would want to watch them. Just like the St. Rita games have been all playoffs, they've blown everybody, and I expect another blowout win for St. Rita to go to the state championship. Hopefully they'll play Brother Rice.
Michael?
I believe, yes, St. Rita's going to go to the championship, and I think now with Caleb Brown, they're scary because they found a running back in Ethan Middleton to be able to run in between the tackles and take those hits from those big linebackers. And now Caleb Brown can just focus on being a wide receiver and not have to worry about getting maybe a low hit to his knee or taking a serious injury from a run play when he doesn't have to now.
I would really love to see Rita play Rice. That would be a fun game to watch. So now we focus towards the Brother Rice versus Wheaton North game, and I all week long I've seen Jack Lausch and Aaron Vaughan all beat up, and they haven't been practicing this week. They just trying to get back after a grueling battle type game against Mount Carmel. So what do you guys think? Like what does Rice have to do on the offensive side of the ball and the defensive side of the ball to really beat Wheaton North, who's a very good team, and go play in the state championship game?
Seeing Wheaton North's defense, they're giant. It's going to be the hardest game all year for Rice on the offensive side of the ball, especially with Jack Lausch and Aaron Vaughan being a little banged up. It's going to be really hard for them to score as many points as they usually do, but I think they'll get the job done and pull with a win.
Michael?
I think the key to winning this game is to keep Jack Lausch up and for him to stay in the pocket and make those throws, because clearly he's hurt and he probably will not be able to run at 100%. So if he can stand in and take the cheap throws given to him and run the ball with Aaron Vaughan well, just like the Crusaders have been doing all playoffs, I believe Brother Rice can get a win and advance on to play in state.
All right, and that'll be all for segment 2. We'll be back here in a little bit.
Introducing our swimmers for today. In lane 1, Dana Alexander.
In lane 2, Ryan Schistel.
In lane 3, fresh off warm-ups, Connor Durkin.
In lane 4, Timothy Hayes.
In lane 5, Danny Hart.
In lane 6, your 2020 Tony Lawless Award winner and sectional record-breaking Seth Miller. Go.
And what a finish by Miller.
Hey, Kevin, I gotta go get this interview. Seth, how'd that feel?
It was a walk in the park.
All right, you heard it here first. Seth Miller.
Hey Jack, can I borrow a pencil? I got a math test next period.
Gotta wrestle me for it.
You know what? I think I'll just. Yeah, I think I'll just go.
Alright. Winner by forfeit.
Hey Jack, can I borrow a pencil? One.
Hello, welcome back to Brother Rice Game Day. I'm Quinn Lyons alongside Jacob Wisgard and Brian Dalgale. We're going to go ahead and give you some of our picks for awards this year and how we think awards would play out if they did give awards. So first, we're going to give Offensive Player of the Year in the Catholic League. I go with Jordan Anderson, 6'4", 220-pound running back from JCA. He just bullies defenses. He does whatever he wants defenses, and even to us, he just killed our defense, and it's the reason we lost that game. He is the reason that JCA wins games. How much? And it's just a clear choice for me.
I mean, Jordan Anderson's a great running back. He dominated Brother Rice. I really think that JCA's running, and whoever's running the ball for JCA, their offensive line has just been fantastic, and they're just going to run through any team they face in the playoffs. But I'm going to have to go with Jack Lausch, and you're going to hear his name probably a lot from us in this segment. But, I mean, maybe I'm a little biased because I've known Jack for so long, but Jack has just been so dominant. Everyone in Brother Rice is like, oh, you see what Jack did? He's all over the place. So, I mean, I'm going to have to go with Jack for Offensive Player of the Year in CCL.
Yeah, I agree with Wiz. Jack Lausch has been just an amazing player, making plays every play. Not only is he an amazing player as a leader on and off the field, he's been truly winning games for us, I think.
Okay, now we're going to move on to something that's a little bit, we don't know that much about, but we call the Rookie of the Year, which is just a sophomore or junior that we think stood out this year on the varsity level. This is between the whole IHSA. I chose junior Deacon Tonielli from Nazareth, a 6'6", 215-pound tight end. From Oswego, my bad. With offers from Indiana, Michigan, Iowa State, and even more. He absolutely balled out this year. He got another year to prove himself. He runs routes like receivers. He blocks like a lineman. He's just the whole package. It's everything you want in a tight end. And considering he's only a junior, he's gonna be doing some big things next year.
Now, I don't know too many young guys in the IHSA, but if I'm going to say one guy, I'm going to say you have to say Ricky Taylor. He's been hurt for this little last half of this season, but Ricky Taylor from Brother Rice, he's been very dominant. He had that beautiful catch against Marist for a touchdown. He was making a name for himself all season long. He's only a sophomore, I believe, so he's been playing excellent. If I had to pick a Rookie of the Year, I'd pick him.
Yeah, I agree with you, Wiz, again. Rick Taylor's been a phenomenal receiver all year long. He did get hurt. Only a sophomore, just making plays every game. Showing he's a really fast kid, making moves, and amazing player.
We're going to move on to Defensive Player of the Year in the Catholic League. I chose Brooks Baher, a DN from Loyola. He's 6'6", 266 pounds. He is a monster. He's only a junior. He's a bit underrated. He makes huge plays for defenses, especially this giant defense in Loyola. He has an offer from Illinois. There's much more to come, and he's the next big thing from Loyola.
If I'm going to pick a Defensive Player of the Year, I'm going to have to go with Jimmy Rolder. I know it's a Marist guy. I know it's going to be a little weird coming from a Brother Rice kid talking about Marist, but Jimmy Rolder just committed to Michigan. His entire life changed in the span of just a few weeks when he got all those Division I offers. He wasn't really making a name for himself against Brother Rice, but they really did. I think the Crusaders really just dominated the Red Hawks in that one. But in Loyola game, he was making great tackles, and he was really keeping the Red Hawks alive in that game against the Ramblers early in the season.
Yeah, they got another Rice guy, Curry Shaw. He's been having a phenomenal playoff run in whole season. He's won us games. He's making big plays. Play receiver too. Phenomenal both-way player. He's my pick.
Next, we're going to move on to the IHSA Offensive Team of the Year for the class of 2022. So this is seniors only. At quarterback, I and all three of us chose Jack Lausch. He's just been a standout player. He He does everything for this offense. He's a great leader. He's just the perfect example of a great quarterback. At running back, I put the 3-star JCA running back, Jordan Anderson. He's just a huge monster, as we mentioned earlier. He bullies defenses. O-line, I chose Loyola. They help that running back all year, Maldonado, just get through holes, and they don't let defense get to their quarterback as much as a lot of other offensive lines do, and I think that's why I chose him as their O-line. My wide receiver 1 is Luther Burden, a 4-star wide receiver out of East St. Louis. He's the best player in the state of Illinois. He has an offer from many big schools, but he committed to Mizzou earlier this year. My next wide receiver, Caleb Brown, 4-star receiver from St. Rita. He has a lot of big offers. He makes huge plays for offenses. He's been hurt all year, but I still give him the wide receiver 2. My third wide receiver, I'm going with Tyler Morris, a 4-star from Naz. He has a lot of big offers. He's a big player. He's massive. He's 6'4", 6'5", I think. My tight end, I'm going with Henry Boyer, obviously from Brother Rice. He's been great all year. He's massive again. He has the offer from Illinois. He makes a lot of big plays, and he really just picks up offenses.
Like Quinn said, we all picked Jack Lausch. I mean, just really, who wouldn't want Jack Lausch at quarterback, making spectacular plays, running the ball well, passing the ball well. I'm sure all those wide receivers would love to have Lausch at quarterback. I mean, on top of already having Caleb has Zulatowski at St. Rita, but I'm switching up a little bit. I'm gonna pick Maldonado and Aaron Vaughan as my 2 running backs. If I had to pick 2, I know you picked 1, but the JCA O-line, I mean, they just run the ball 95% of the time, and 99% of the time it works for them. They're doing something well over there with their team. For wide receivers, I'm going to pick Caleb Brown, Jacoby Wordlaw, and Luther Burden from East St. Louis. All dominant guys. I put Jacoby in there because I think Jacoby's been a really big help for the Crusaders. He's made some big plays and intense moments for Brother Rice. And then at tight end, I got to do Boyer, the man Dana was talking about all game. He had no receptions in the Carmel game, and they still won, which just shows you how dominant this Crusader offense is. But in other games, like the Marist game, he's been so helpful to the Crusader offense.
For my quarterback, I got Jack Lausch. Running back, I have Jordan Anderson. He's been dominant all year, and then match up with the JCA O-line. They're a very successful combo. They can open up gaps, and you can just run the ball and run anyone over. And then for receiver, I have Caleb Brown, and someone I haven't really heard at all this segment, Danny White. He's been phenomenal. I want to choose a Rice guy, and he's definitely won. He won the Cardinal game. And for tight end, I have Henry Boyer. He's dominant. He didn't get the receptions, but he did phenomenal blocking against the team we played. Carmel, yeah, sorry. Draw a blank.
Danny White, he did do good all year, and I'm happy you gave Danny White a shout out because he deserves credit. He doesn't get a lot of credit, and he deserves a lot of credit.
He absolutely does deserve a lot of credit. That Mount Carmel game early in the season, it was down to the wire, and Danny White just came out clutch, play after play. He's been dominant. The duo from St. Barnabas, Jack Lausch, Danny White. So I think I agree with you guys on that one. Danny White's been awesome.
So next, we're gonna move on to the most valuable player in the Catholic League. I chose Jack Lausch.
I was just gonna say, who do you guys think that if you're watching this right now, watching it back, who do you think we're gonna say?
It's kind of a given. We go to Brother Rice. We basically worship Jack Lausch here at Brother Rice. He's the best thing to come out of Rice in a long time. And I thought about other players just based on stats, but if you look at the most valuable player, Jack Lausch is the most valuable player. He's smart on the football field. He leads his team. He does whatever he can to get a win. He's just a gutsy player. He does everything right. He throws the ball, runs the ball. I don't think I'd rather have any player on my team than Jack Lausch.
Yeah, I put down Jack Lausch on the script because who else could it be? But one of the players I really want to talk about is Caleb Brown. St. Rita had a tough start to the season. They played Mount Carmel. They lost on the final game-winning touchdown off a blocked field goal. Then there was they went down to Kentucky to play the #1 team in Kentucky. They won there without Caleb. Caleb was out for most of the season. They lost to Loyola, which was another tough game for them. But they've really fought back the rest of the season. They've won out the rest of the season. They're 10-2 right now. So I think having Caleb back is going to be a key part of their offense going into this last 2 games if they keep winning.
Yeah, I got Jack Losh too. He can really do it all. He was playing safety at one point, he'd throw the ball, run the ball. Really tough kid. He's, in my opinion, the best player in the league right now.
I would say the best player in the league. Also, I'd say the best quarterback in the state of Illinois by far. He just does everything right. So next we're going to move on to kind of a fun one. We did nicknames. We're going to make up nicknames from Brother Rice players. He's with one of the highest GPAs, and all from ND, a great personality, a lot of friends. He kind of has everything you need, and that's why I want to call him Superman. He's just truly an athlete's version of Superman. And I also want to give Kari Shaw, I want to call him Primetime. You don't know who Primetime is, Deion Sanders, and Kari legitimately plays and acts like Deion Sanders. He has that mindset that he's the best player on the field, and if you want to say that he's not, he will show you why he is.
Kari's just been dominant on the defense all season long. 2 guys that are my favorite nicknames. They're already kind of existing nicknames, but I just want to say both their names. Mo Brown, they call him Peanut. I think 99% of the time I've called Marist Brown Peanut in the 4 years I've known him here at Brother Rice. And then I also want to just give a shout out to Jack Byrne. Someone at a 5th grade basketball game called Jack Byrne Burnsy, and I remember they were calling him that during our basketball season at Barnabas. But just 2 guys I really like both of those nicknames, and yeah.
Yeah, I like to touch on the Quinn's comment, Curry Primetime. He makes primetime plays every game, and I like that nickname a lot.
I also want to say Sean Kennard, 12 Island. He's been truly dominant, and I was going to talk about him in Defensive Player of the Year. He's just stepped up in the last half of the season, and he's been playing excellent, especially in that Marist game and the first few games of the playoffs.
And many quarterbacks call themselves the Island, but Sean really is the Island. He doesn't really let anyone get past him. He's a great corner, lockdown corner, and if Rice and Rita both make the state championship, which I hope will happen, that matchup between Caleb Brown and Sean Kennard will be the matchup to see. So next we're going to rank the student sections. I think in 3rd place I'll give it to Rita. And they know how to bring the energy. They have a lot of fun. It's just one of the best student sections throughout all the high schools. Second, I'm going to give it to JCA. Even though I don't know much about their school, they did drive all the way down here to pack our stands, and they were loud and they were having a lot of fun down there. But first, obviously, the best high school student section I want to say the state of Illinois, but honestly, I'm just going to say the best high school student section in the country. Brother Rice, we have the most fun. We do the most stuff. We are loud. We're electric. We give boosts to the teams. It's just really fun.
I mean, I'm trying to steer away from Rice a little because, I think we all know who's the best. Last week was just awesome. I remember I was doing the game, but I remember going down at halftime and just seeing all the guys there. Everyone's wearing green for Ryan Jefferson. It was just a really great environment for such a great game, such a big game here at Brother Rice. 2 schools though I really want to highlight though is Marist. Even though Marist fans destroyed Marist, they've had a really energetic student section. I always see videos online of them, and they're always packed to the brim. So I just want to highlight them. But St. Ignatius, I've seen stuff online about them. They've had a great season. They had a lot of home games this year. They upset Carmel at home, and then they stormed the field. So they just had a really energetic fan section for such a great year for St. Ignatius. I think St. Ignatius had one of the better student sections this year.
Yeah, Marist is always a packed student section, always, but it's a rival. I got with the Crusader Crazies. They're always bringing energy to the Gary Little Stadium, and one thing that really was pretty cool, I think they rode their bikes down Pulaski to Marist, packed stands. Made it feel like a little more of a home game for them, and of course we won.
Next, we're going to go out to the standout players this playoff run for Rice. I chose Aaron Vaughan. He's just been great all year, but this playoff he's really stepped it up. He's got a couple 100 yards every game, a couple touchdowns every game. He's given a great boost to their offense and kind of taken a load off Jack Lausch, and kind of showed that he deserves a lot of the credit in this offense. He gets a lot of yardage, gets a lot of touchdowns. I give Aaron Vaughan.
Yeah, I was going back and forth between Vaughan and Trey Pierce, but I went with Trey Pierce. He's been playing phenomenal, getting in the backfield, just doing it all. He's really big. He's 6'3", 280, D tackle. What more can you ask for him? He's playing amazing in this playoffs.
I want to pick just one player, but this Brother Rice defense has been absolutely, they've just stood out. Except for that first game of the playoffs where both teams were kind of playing not to their best level. I mean, you know, Kari Shaw, Sean Kennard, Kevin Frazier, all those guys have just been playing excellent in this playoff run. And, you know, the offense, they got Vaughan, Boyer, Lausch. I just want to give it mainly to the defense, though. They've really stepped up as a whole lately, and I just think they deserve some attention for that.
Okay, that's going to be the end of segment 3. We'll be right back with segment 4.
You know, ever since he's been putting that jacket on, he has way too much confidence in himself. So what test he has got next?
I got anatomy.
Oh, I actually have a study.
Where are you going for that?
Just outside.
You can't go out there!
Students can't go outside, bud.
It's the jacket. I can do what I want.
Makes no sense.
Bob, Casey.
Ooh, I gotta get him one of those jackets.
He's dead.
Hey, Carlos, what's the matter?
It's tennis. I thought you loved playing tennis. We're really one of the best teams in state this year.
For my whole life, I had one dream, to play Marist tennis for Brother Rice. But tomorrow's the last match of the season, and Coach Volk says there's no room in the starting lineup. I don't know what to do.
Gavin, I have an idea. Can you meet me outside of Coach Vote's office in 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Alright, bring your blazer. Carlos, we're gonna fix this.
Thank you.
Come in. Coach Vote, we heard the news about Carlos tomorrow, and we're deciding to not broadcast the tennis match.
What do you mean not broadcast? This match is for the state championship. You're a senior member of BRTV. Show some leadership.
I believe I am. For Carlos.
For Carlos.
For Carlos.
You've got to stop showing Rudy in theology class.
Welcome back to Crusader GameDay. I'm here with Ryan Manfrey and Danny Durkin. We're here with some game predictions from around the area in the IHSA playoffs. So first, I just want to go right away to 5A. The Fenwick Friars versus Sycamore High School. They'll be playing at Triton College, which is just 20 minutes off campus from Fenwick. So Fenwick, this playoffs, have stepped it up tremendously. The last week of the season, they defeated Ignatius. They ended their perfect season at Ignatius, I believe that was. So Fenwick, only major loss has been to Loyola, and it was a very close game. We don't know much about Sycamore High School, but they were playing at Evergreen Park for the first round of the playoffs just a few weeks ago. So we're probably going past them on their way to Wheaton Warrenville South game. But they defeated #1 seed Glenbard South and St. Patrick in the playoffs. Guys, who do you got in that one?
I got Fenwick win state. Like I said earlier, whoever won, if Naz and Fenwick played each other, and they did, and whoever won that game was going on to win state. So I got Fenwick. I think Caden Cobb in that offense is just too much, and he's kind of like a dual threat quarterback to me. He can run, he can pass, and they got a really good defense. Fenwick does. So yeah, I got Fenwick in this one.
Yeah, I got Fenwick also. I mean, that quarterback over there is special. Caden Cobb, I've seen him play. He's just phenomenal all around the field, and he's going D1 for a reason, you know? And I just feel like after that Ignatius win, they built their momentum. They've been on a roll since, so I'm going Fenwick.
I think they've played with a lot of heart. I've seen videos, and it just seems like a team that, you know, has fought a lot. And they lost to Loyola, but not by much, you know. And I think that they're a team that could really go far. Sycamore High School is just outside of DeKalb, so I'm sure they would love to have an easy home game for the state championship. But I'm going to have to pick Fenwick on that one. I just think Fenwick is just going to outmatch Sycamore. They played so many more talented teams in the regular season. I think they'll stand out in that one. For our next game, we got, moving up to 7A, we got Prospect High School at St. Rita. So the Knights visiting the Mustangs on Saturday night. It'll be a huge game. Rita finally playing at full force. They're a healthy team again. They're looking to make to the 7A state title game. which would be huge for them after they started. We mentioned the last segment. They started out 1-2. They lost two games early to Mount Carmel and Loyola, who are two very talented teams. But they had to fight back. They had a great after the Loyola game. They played an excellent second half of the season. Something interesting though. So Prospect High School, they lost to Rolling Meadows. Kind of an upset for them because Rolling Meadows is only 5-5. They lost 26-24 in the regular season to Rolling Meadows. St. Rita played Rolling Meadows in the opening round of the playoff, and they destroyed them 40-1-0, I believe it was. Guys, I mean, I feel like it's kind of obvious answer. I think St. Rita is a really dominant team, but what do you guys think? Who do you got in that one?
I got Rita, of course. I mean, with Caleb back, they're a dominant force. I don't know if you saw that catch he made last week for that touchdown, that one-handed catch. That was very special. It just shows how great he is and shows what the ability he can make. And I feel like Ulatowski, their quarterback, I feel like he's a really underrated player. He does not get a lot of credit for their success. So I'm taking Rita in that game.
Yeah, I go back to the 2019 season. Rita had Ulatowski as their quarterback, very talented baseball player, but he gets that kind of genetics in football and baseball, kind of like just throwing a ball around. But I think he's been the reason why Rita is who they are, besides Caleb Brown and besides that really good defense. I think Rita wins this game easily, and they'll play somebody good in the state championship game. Hopefully it's Brother Rice. But I think just every team that Rita's played in the playoffs so far this year, that Rita's beaten them pretty badly. And I think just Caleb Brown being back and him getting even healthier every week and stronger every week is a very hard player to stop on defense if you're a defensive coordinator or a defensive player. So I think Rita wins this one easily and plays the state championship game.
I think Rita's going to move on. They lost that first game of the season just because Caleb was out. He got hurt in the first quarter of that game. So I feel like they definitely played very tough. Without Caleb and with Caleb, they've been a very, very dominant team once they figured out how to move the ball, how to play offensively and just play without their star player. But I think St. Rita's going to move on without any problems against Prospect. I think they're going to move on to DeKalb, and I think we're going to actually move on to the next one now. Brother Rice Crusaders at Wheaton North. Who do you guys got to go face St. Rita in DeKalb?
I got the Crusaders. I mean, the Crusaders have just been dominant all year long. I mean, obviously we talked about Jack Lausch and all that. Talked about how great that defense has been getting every week. I just feel like the Crusaders are going to win this game. I feel like they got to get off to a fast start, though. It's in the Carmel game. They kind of got off to a slow start. I feel like they got to get off to a fast start. I'm interested to see what they do here. After that big Carmel win, I'm interested to see how they react to this game. And I just feel like the Crusaders are going to come out, react, just play phenomenal, start quick, and I think I got the Crusaders in this one.
Yeah, I agree with Danny. Come out quick, You're playing a road on a team that's 40 minutes away to an hour from here. You got to come out. You got to make some plays early. You got to set the tone early. Control the line of scrimmage, control the game clock. Control the time that you have, and just make great play calls too. Like I said, Jack Lausch and Aaron Vaughan, they haven't been practicing much this week. Hopefully they'll be ready to go for Saturday's game. I think just gotta remember, I felt like in that Yorkville game they played like they wanted to play Mount Carmel, in the next round. You gotta play like you want to play St. Rita in the state championship game. You want to play somebody else. You just gotta have that mentality of saying, I want to go out there and I want to go compete and I want to get it what I want. So I'm gonna go play like it. So they just gotta play like they want to win the state championship. They gotta play like the state championship team and go out there and show them who they are on the road.
I want to add to what Ryan said that they got to play like they want to play St. Rita. I remember that Mount Carmel week where Mount Carmel didn't even beat Batavia yet. There was players that I was talking to. They're like, yeah, it'll be a pretty good game against Mount Carmel next week, and it was still like Thursday of that week first when they played against Yorkville. It was still like Thursday of that week. So they gotta have that mentality, but they also gotta focus on the moment. I feel like a lot of teams like Wheaton, Warrenville South really tested them because Crusaders had their heads high. They thought they were gonna cruise through that game, and then it went down to the final play of the game. I think Crusaders are gonna take that one. I think they need to start out really fast, like both of you guys said. But I think it'll be very interesting to see how they play on the road in the cold weather because against the Mount Carmel game, they were playing in the cold weather, struggling to pass the ball. Both teams were really struggling to pass the ball. But the run game really stepped up, Lausch and Vaughan, and they just gotta They just got to play good football and run the ball well, and I think they'll do just fine against Wheaton North. Now moving on to 8A, so we got some big games out of 8A this week. Lockport Porters at Loyola Ramblers on Saturday at 1. So Lockport's only lost the season to Lincoln Way East, 12-10. So that was in week 8 of the season. It was a close game. Loyola just defeated Lincoln Way East 3-0 in the last week. And then Lockport defeated Glenbard North 20-22 in the quarterfinals last week. Just something interesting before we go with our predictions. Lockport kicker Gabe Kazatko, star soccer defender, who helped the team finish 3A in the state for soccer. On top of that, being on the number 4 ranked team in 8A, the Lockport Porters. And on top of that, last season for track and field in the spring, he finished second in 110-meter hurdles and 300-meter hurdles. So just an absolute athlete they got as kicker there. They have a strong group of seniors. I mean, who do you guys got on that one? I think Loyola's a great team, but, you know, what do you guys think?
I'm going to go with the upside here. I think Lockport's going to win this game. I mean, they don't get enough attention at all. I mean, I've noticed that Loyola's kind of been struggling to move the ball recently. They only put up 3 points against Lincoln Way East. Obviously, Maldonado's hurt. And I just feel like Lockport has just not got enough credit, and I just feel like it's going to be a good game. And I'm going to go with Lockport for the win. I just heard that Maldonado is back, but I'm still going to go with Lockport.
The way Loyola played last week against Lincoln Way East made me think for sure that Lockport's going to win this game, but honestly think it could go either way. I'm picking Lockport for an upset. I think Loyola, you know, if Lockport wants to win this game, it's going to come down to their defense. You know, keeping Loyola in position. Loyola, if you're Loyola, you gotta make some plays this week on offense, because you can't be putting up 3 points and expecting to win game. You know, Lockport will definitely score a touchdown or more. They got a big 6'7" quarterback who's huge and can run the ball easily. I think just Lockport's got to keep them in the game. I think they got to make some plays though. But I think Catholic League, everybody thinks Loyola, Marist, or 2 Catholic League schools playing for state. I would love to see Maine South versus Lockport match up in a future first state championship game.
Well, I didn't expect D to say Lockport, or what was your prediction? Final prediction?
Lockport.
Lockport. I wasn't expecting either of you guys to pick Lockport, to be honest. I was ready to say Lockport all the way. I think Lockport's going to have the upset in this game. I think Lockport's very underrated, like D said, and they have a strong group of guys. They have guys that really want to win the game. Maldonado's back, but I think the Porters, they can play well on both sides of the ball, and the Ramblers have been struggling, and it'll be very interesting to see once Maldonado's back in the mix of all that. But I really think that the Porters can move on to the state title game against our next matchup. Maine South is visiting the Marist Redhawks, so matchup right down the street, Saturday at 1 p.m. So Maine South, they had a close second round win against Plainfield North, and then another close quarterfinals win, 14-13 against Neuqua Valley. Neuqua Valley was ranked very high in the state all season long by Michael O'Brien in the Chicago Tribune. So they pulled out in 2 close games. Marist have been playing excellent in the playoffs. They haven't had any close games. Dontrell, who's been hurt, as we've heard, he's played through injury. He's played very well. Defense has stepped up, and they've not really allowed that many points. So it'll be a very big test for the Redhawks this week at home. They defeated number 2 South Elgin just last week, or 2 weeks ago, I'm sorry. So it'll be a very interesting game on 115th and Pulaski. But Brian, who do you got in that one?
I got Maine South. I mean, they're a powerhouse, great program. You get a lot of good kids going from there. I think just like Marist, you know, if Dontrell's still hurt, you still give him an opportunity, I feel like. But, you know, when you have a hurt quarterback, you need Marist to make plays. Marist is a good team. I don't think they're a bad team, but I think Maine South just wins this game just because they played well against Catholic League teams in the past. They stepped up in some of the bigger moments in the past. I think just Maine South, you know, they played a really good Neuqua team, like you said. And Neuqua Valley, you know, they were good all season long. They played, you know, good schedule. So I think just, you know, bet all the Redhawks here. I take Maine South.
I'm going to go with Marist here. I feel like after Marist lost to Rice, I feel like they've really been rolling here. They kind of bounced back from that loss. And I just feel like you said, Maine South has just been barely surviving throughout these playoffs. It's been really like 5-point wins and all that. And I just feel like Marist is rolling right now. Dontrell's been playing great right now, and obviously Roller on the defensive hand. So I'm going to take Marist in this game.
I'm going to take Marist too, just because Maine South has had close games. You know, they might be tired and they not had as much rest as the Red Hawks had. The Red Hawks, you know, they've won games by 30 points in the playoffs, so you know they have that advantage that they get to rest their players in the second half of the game, and they haven't had guys that had to play as many minutes compared to Maine South. I think the Red Hawks move on to the state title against Lockport, which I think is a very, very interesting matchup. Obviously, we can talk about that hopefully next week if Brother Rice and Rita are playing for the state title. That'd be another awesome treat. But I got Marist, so so we got Marist, Lockport. There are picks for the state title. He thinks Maine South and Lockport.
I just think Maine South because they're a good program. They have a good coaching staff. And yeah, you know, it doesn't matter what you do in those past games. It matter what you do now. I think just Maine South is a very good program. Won 3 state titles past decade. I think that experience and that, you know, might not be the same kids, but that experience with the coach and developing and, you know, the expectations for each game in the playoffs. It all comes on. I mean, Neuqua Valley is very good. You know, I thought Neuqua Valley was going to win last week. Maine South surprised me. So I wouldn't be surprised if Marist won, though. At home, got your home stadium and everything. It sounds like a really good game. It'll be an exciting game to watch and hear about.
And now that Ryan's saying that, I really think that the game could go either way. But I still think the Red Hawks just have the home advantage, the advantage of having guys rested. So that'll do it for our Crusader game day. So Brother Rice Crusaders will take on Wheaton North Falcons at 4 p.m. on Saturday at Wheaton North. Signing off, I'm Jacob Wisger, Danny Durkin, Ryan Manfrey. Thanks Tim Hayes, Billy Reardon, Brian Dalgale, Mike Moonen, and Quinn Lyons for helping with game day today. We'll hopefully see you next week for maybe if Brother Rice and Rita move on, but we got to get through this game first, so stay tuned for more, I guess.